Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. We're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons players and a basic standard. Okay, if you take Dungeons and Dragons seriously as a player, I'm just talking to players now. It is critical that and you tell anyone, including yourself, you're a good player. You absolutely must read the PHB, the Monster Manual, and the Dungeon Master Guide cover to cover. You're only going to get this here. Scott Garibay is the only person in the world is going to tell you, if you're going to be a good Dungeons and Dragons player, you need to read the Dungeon Master Guide. Your Dungeon Master is trying hard to deliver a good game for you. Almost nothing you can do will make you a better player than reading the Dungeon Master. Well, after you read the PHB and the Monster Manual guide and the Monster Manual cover to cover, nothing beyond that will make you a better player than reading the DMG. Because you're going to be a Dungeon Master whisperer. You're going to know what they need before they ask. And this is really critical, right? It's absolutely critical. If you're not a shuffler, if you're not a casual, if you actually purport to be a good Dungeons and Dragons player, if you ever say that to anybody, or even yourself in your own heart, make sure you read the DMG, the Monster Manual, and the Dungeon Master Guide. Now, why am I saying this today? Something just broke my heart when I heard it today. I understand the pure burning hatred this country has for Hollywood types. Hollywood is really messing some stuff up. I'm going to say it right now. The Will Smith slap, we just had Dave Chappelle physically attacked. Do you know why? In my humble opinion, it's shockingly simple. I'll tell you why, right? It happened because that person was like, oh, Will Smith walked up on a stage, slapped a comedian in the face, and the ramifications were literally nothing. The police never showed at his door. There were no actual losses. There was performative losses, but if I physically attack a comedian, it's going to work out fine. In fact, half the world, actually a distinct number of people will praise me on Twitter before they take it down 15 seconds later. And it's shocking, but what really got me is I was not able to see Doctor Strange on opening weekend. That's a whole story to itself. Sorry, I ain't got time for that. And so I'm getting hit with all these spoilers. Now, this isn't a spoiler. I'm not going to spoil you. But I listened to Grace Randolph said Sam Raimi gave an interview and admitted he did not watch WandaVision. Can you imagine the gall? The gall, right? Disney's like, hey, Sam Raimi, we're going to pull you out of obscurity, dust you off, and make you a real, Pinocchio boy again. Here's an actual, director slot, right? And we're going to put $200 million behind your movie. We're going to employ 1,000+ people to make this movie a reality. And basic diligence would be like, oh, well, Scarlet Witch is my villain in this. I should watch the last piece of information that is relevant, right, to it. And, just watch the show. Watch the 6 episodes so I understand the characters that are in the movie that I have been gifted, right? He couldn't watch 6 hours of television as prep for a movie he is the base director on, right? Which means he fundamentally did not understand the main villain of the film they spent $200 million on and employed 1,000+ people on. Hollywood sucks, man. They are just the most arrogant, self-centered, selfish sons of it. Whoa. Don't be like them. Don't be like, oh, I know it well enough. I don't have to read it. I don't have to do my due diligence. Do your freaking due diligence. If you want to be a good player, right? Read the PHB, the Monster Manual, and the DMG cover to cover, right? I have read the D&D rules at least 5 to 10 times, right? I've read all 3 of those core rule books in 1E, 2E, 3E, 4E, and 5E. I've read no less than a half a dozen starter boxes, cover to cover, right? Like, just read, if you play Dungeons and Dragons, read the DMG, the MM, and the Player's Handbook. It's just basic due diligence. Don't be a Hollywood sad sack. And this is not laziness. This is not laziness. Sam Raimi is not lazy. He is outrageously arrogant and selfish. That's the only thing that could explain that. And has no respect for the creators who created in the world before him. The idea that you would direct Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness without watching WandaVision, you have to be the most outrageously arrogant, self-important, selfish, disrespecting of other creators person on the planet. This lowers my respect for Sam Raimi and lowers my respect for Hollywood even further. It's just horrible. With that said, I have to say I do struggle with arrogance myself, and that's probably why I'm really like spun up on this one. Man, that's bad. Don't be that guy. Read the DMG, the PHB, and the DMG. Nothing's going to make you a better player. And players need to start stepping up, man. The Dungeon Master discipline, we working hard. Y'all's need to step up. Players need to step up. I'm saying that. All that's my opinion. What's your opinion? Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.